After another fantastic win by Chelsea this weekend, the question has to start to be asked is, can Chelsea go unbeaten for the whole season? Today in this video, we're going to break that down. We're going to look at the details behind Sonia Bompastor and what makes her the manager she is. We'll have a look at Chelsea's attack and their defence, and then we'll dive into a couple of the potential areas that they might slip up. So, let's get started. So let's start talking about Chelsea's dominance. We know for the last rough decade, they have dominated the WSL, winning 7 out of the last 10 titles and going 4 in a row, as well as also winning a few doubles in there as well. So what is different? Well, let's start looking at Sonia Bompastor and what she brings to this team, because there's no getting away the dominance Chelsea have had in the Emma Hayes era going back over the last 4, 5, 7, 10 years. But there definitely is something different in the air, and you can feel it and you can see it. And it's equal parts scary for the other teams, really, as well as it is exciting as young fans and fans alike to soak up and watch this Chelsea team in motion. So let's dive into who Sonia Bompastor is and what she's bringing to this Chelsea table. Sonia Bompastor was a top quality midfielder. She started her career in the French league and then she moved over to the MLS. She is a 2-time winner of Player of the Year, and she's also won honours as an All-Star and MVP. She's played at the highest level. Okay, so we know that this does not equally translate into being a top manager, being a good midfielder. See Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney here. But her return to Lyon, she won the Champions League as a player, and she was also the French captain for 2 years. So there's definitely a steely determination and a winning, successful mentality in her, because you don't get to those levels without having it and knowing what a good team performance looks like around you. And then after a successful playing career, she then turned her hand to being a manager at Lyon in 2013. What I really like about her transition into management is she didn't go straight into a top line level management job, which she probably could have done. She actually cut her teeth within the Lyon reserves for around about 7 or 8 seasons and really learnt her craft and built what her kind of style was in the lower leagues, which and the youth setup to really cement who she is as a manager. And then this translated into her success when she did get the opportunity to become Lyon's manager. And what success she had. In 7 seasons, they won 3 back-to-back titles, 1 Champions League, and in general just had a trophy-laden seasons. She also became the first manager to win the Champions League as a player and Champions League as a manager. Then, after all those fantastic seasons at Lyon, she took up the helm at Chelsea. If you're liking this content so far, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And as the curtains came down on the Emma Hayes era at Chelsea, up stepped Sonia Bompastor, and straight away she made the impact very clear with her team, as Millie Bright states here. So she says, "We felt it immediately from training sessions. We're hoping the fans can see that, because as players we've definitely felt the change in training. The intensity for me and the quality on the ball has been the biggest change. We just want to be better all round." Now, it's crazy that she's saying this because Chelsea had just won 4 in a row. But she continues on. "We've always had that winning mentality, but I think we've gained more to it. We're even more eager now to go to the next level, and it's all the other factors that needed to catch up a little bit. So we hope the fans can see we're trying to implement that." This is crazy to see, right? Within the first few training sessions, Millie Bright, the club captain, is already saying that the mentality is a lot stronger within a team, and those kind of, the little things that make the difference, the quality on the ball, the determination to win just outright all the time, has flicked onto another stage, which again is crazy because they've just won 4 in a row. And Millie goes on to say even more. "Everyone's really driven to be better, to become a better player. With the changes we've made in the environment, with Sonia coming in, the new staff and new players, it's really freshened things up. I think we're ready to go to that next level as a team. You can see from all the players that there is a really good energy." That's amazing to hear if you're a Chelsea fan, and just excited as a football fan, because I think the next level for them now has to be not only win the Champions League, but going back to the question of going unbeaten this season, taking it to another level that no real team has ever done. I know Arsenal did it a few years ago with when there was only 8 teams in the league, but no one's done it in this kind of era with Chelsea. And the intensity change, the quality on the ball, it is clear from their play. And it's been the outset straight away from Sonia. And I love that Sonia is unbashful in her wavering belief in her team as well. Going into the match against Man United this weekend, who are also unbeaten, she actually said it brings an extra motivation because you want to show that we're able to beat every team. This is the mentality you have to win if you want to win everything. A lot of managers don't come out and say that they want to go unbeaten this season, like it's a little bit of a curse, but she actually is unbashful in her high demands of a team to want to do that and drive that into her team to succeed in every single game. I know every manager wants to, but she says it, right? And that clear determination and that clear message will trickle down to her team. So let's see how this translates into the stats so far this season for them. They have already beaten Arsenal away for the first time since 2020. It's the first time winning at the Emirates against Arsenal. They've won the first 8 games in the WSL, only conceding 3 goals and scoring 20 odd plus. They've won their first 12 games in all competitions, and it's also the best start for any manager in 14 years in the history of the WSL. So her quality is already seeping in. If seeping in is even the right word, is already starting to take effect into the Chelsea team, and you see it in all of their performances. So Sonia Bompastor is definitely the right person driving the helm to make this team go unbeaten this season. Now let's dive into what that looks like within the team, starting with the defence. Well, Sonia Bompastor hasn't changed the formation. So what has she changed? Well, she's made sure that she's implemented a more consistent team. For example, last season, after 4 or 5 games, Chelsea had rotated 8 different players to play in the back 4. That plays a little bit into instability, and also had swapped out a couple of keepers as well. And that doesn't solidify a cohesion within the defence, which is so important. This season, Sonia Bompastor has only rotated 6 players and has kept Hannah Hampton in goal the whole time. So with that more solid and consistent back line, it's given them a better foundation to work off of, which is crazy to say because obviously Chelsea won the whole season last year. But this change in defence, even just so slightly, makes a huge difference. Okay, so you might say to me, well, look, it's only a change of 2 defenders within the whole back line. It's only 2 more that they had. How does that make a difference? Well, let's look at the stats. In a 22-game season last year, Chelsea conceded only 18 goals, which, look, is a phenomenal stat in itself. And that translates to less than, roughly 0.8 goals per game conceded. Now, so far this season, having a more consistent back line has resulted in that stat dropping to just 0.3 goals conceded per game. And they've not even conceded in their last 4 WSL outings. One of those games was against Man City. And that's for a total of 419 minutes without conceding a goal. So it definitely does make a difference if you have a consistent back line and you have a consistent keeper in there. Translates in the stats. So what else has Sonia Bompastor done for the defence, and what else has Chelsea changed? Well, Sonia Bompastor has converted Baltimore, who is a forward. If you look on her Wikipedia or any of the pages, she is a forward, to a left wing back. And she's been successful as a left wing back. Now, that in itself is not only quality tactical nuance and understanding for a manager that she can do this with a player, but also credit to Baltimore as well, who has taken this on and believe in what her manager is telling her to do and asking of her. And for the team, she is playing in a unfamiliar position and doing so well, because in those last 4 or 5 games that she's played, as I just mentioned, they haven't conceded, and she still manages to get herself an assist or a goal. So that is fantastic tutelage by Sonia to train Baltimore into doing this and having that flexibility in their team, which adds to that scary, exciting element of she can convert forwards into defenders and still not concede goals. That is a fantastic manager and a brilliant defence as well. So how does this translate into them going unbeaten? Well, having a back line that doesn't concede having a back line that is certainly of top quality, and then adding in wing backs that are able to get forward and provide goals and assists in the form of Lucy Bronze and Baltimore is certainly going halfway to do that. What else do you need? Well, let's take a look at their midfield and their attack and see what they're also adding to this as well. The midfield and attack of Chelsea, it has a plethora of unbelievable talent running throughout it. You've got quality across the board. So to name a few, you've got the marauding wing backs that we talked about of Baltimore and Bronze. To add to that, you've also got the strong, powerful and skillful midfield of Guru Wrighton, Cuthbert, Wrighton Kenyard. You've got Capitan to add in there. And then the interchangeable forwards in Ramirez, Hamana, Beaver-Jones and Macario as well. They play with such freedom and fluidity and understanding of where their teammates are that they can pick a pass across, quality to drop a shoulder, and then the strength to knock players out of the way and score beautifully curled shots. The quality in the attack is there for all to see. We could literally do a video right now on the top 15 goals of the Chelsea season so far, and we'd all be happy. Maybe I'll probably do that in another video actually. But what is also really great to see within this Chelsea team so far this season is the spread of the goals throughout the team. So we not only have, the consistent starters like Cuthbert coming in with a goal. We also have, Ramirez scoring 3 so far this season. I think Guru Wrighton, she's on 6 in the WSL so far this season. Wrighting has already got a few goals as well. But you also have players coming off the bench like Beaver-Jones, Macario, Hamana and Captain have all included at least 1 goal in their into the season as well. So knowing as a manager that you have this quality and depth that you can call on your substitutes to come on and impact the team and impact the game as well, and probably getting a goal or an assist is so important to change around if a game is not going right or not, and so important in helping yourself stay unbeaten throughout the whole season. So that is another reason why with this attack that there is a high chance that they could go unbeaten. So what does this also look like in stats? Well, they already have more goals and points this season than they've had in any of their last 4 seasons, where they also won the titles. Scary stat, right? So what is that? They have 22 goals and 24 points so far this season, which is a couple more goals and points than they ever have in any other points of this season. And let's not forget, they're doing this without Sam Kerr and Lauren James as well. They still have 2 of the best talented players in the world to return to this lineup. Okay, so that's all the positives that Chelsea have, and they have a lot. But what could some of the potential obstacles be? And in the time of writing this, there weren't too many other than the usual classics. So the sheer number of games that they're going to have to play this season, if they go through all the cup competitions and get to the Champions League, will be more than usual, give or take. They are generally in every cup competition to the end and, win the league. What might actually help them is, again, this is not an obstacle, but might help them is if they win the WSL early, because they go unbeaten for hopefully the rest of the season, is the fact that, they could rest players for the Champions League latter stages. But going back to the obstacles again, is then also obviously injuries on top of that. They already are without Lauren James and Sam Kerr. And then, if they pick up any other injuries within that time as well. But really, the size of the squad and the tactical plays that Sonia Bompastor has already incorporated into different league games this season, as well as the squad rotation that they have and that depth in squad, I still don't know if that is also a potential obstacle for them as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do they have many obstacles other than the obvious ones? Am I missing any out here that are glaringly obvious? Because I really can't see any obstacles that's going to stop them going unbeaten. So to round out this video, you have to be a betting man to go against Chelsea going unbeaten this season. For instance, if they beat Brighton and Hove Albion and then Leicester after the international break, they're going to make history as the first team to go unbeaten in their first 10 games. That is a fantastic stat alone and puts them well on the way to doing this. So I have to ask the question, who here is going to bet against Chelsea going unbeaten? Well, that's the end of the video today, guys. Thank you for staying to the end. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I'll be putting this out every week and I look forward to you in the next one. Have a great week, guys.